All right, welcome back. Today's topic is not so much for the person doing the work, but for the managers. If you're running a team, you're running a department, and you want your department to step up their activity level of entrepreneurial work, 8 things you can do to help foster a more innovative organization. So these next set of slides are coming from Gary Hamel's Leading the Revolution. We're talking about corporate revolutions, not hostile takeovers, but how to change your company over. Number 1, unreasonable expectations. 2, elastic business definitions. 3, a cause, not a business. 4, new voices. 5, an open market for ideas. 6, create a market for capital. 7, create a market for talent. Ideas, capital, talent. That's going to be a theme throughout all this process. And 8, low risk experimentation, taking small bets. We're going to dive in. We're going to go through all 8. We're going to try to keep it quick and fun and snappy. So let's go into number 1, unreasonable expectations. The idea here is that only when people subscribe to unreasonable goals do they start searching for breakthrough ideas. So how do you inspire a team to have an unreasonable expectation of their work or of you? Or how do you inspire that to come out of your employees? So George Bernard Shaw has this phenomenal quote, and entrepreneurs really gravitate towards it. It says, the reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable man persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man, right? Not accepting things as they are, but what they can be. That's a common trait amongst entrepreneurs. And one example I want to give about how does an unreasonable practice or unreasonable expectation come to life in the workplace is the TikTok algorithm. Right? TikTok is known as having the best algorithm like ever. The algorithm learns your behavior and shows you content you didn't know you wanted to see. So how does it do it? TikTok figured out how to show you things that you didn't know you liked or wanted to see, things that may expand your worldview. And they do that by doing something very unethical, actually. So there's an interesting conversation between what's ethical and what's in the pursuit of opportunity. But what they were doing, there's a class action lawsuit happening right now, is they were tracking you through your camera while you're looking at your device on TikTok. It was activating your camera and watching you to understand your age, your gender, your race and ethnicity. Not only that, but your reaction. Did you smile? Did you laugh? Did your eyes get wide with interest, or were you disgusted? From there, it was generating more content based on your reactions and what you may or may not like. And every time you had a reaction, it learned. But again, it wasn't about reinforcing your worldview. Someone had to think, what's an unreasonable way? If we could do anything to understand user behavior, what could we do? Again, it's a focus on what can be, not what is. Number 2 sounds counterintuitive. It's having an elastic business definition. Like the elastic clause in our Constitution, companies typically define themselves by what they do rather than what they know and own. By what you do rather than by what you know or own. When we do pitch training with our company, we tell them, show us your problem and don't tell them the solution. Your solution is going to be very product-based. That doesn't matter. That's not why someone's buying. They're buying from you because of your values. They're buying from you because of the benefits your product will let them enjoy, not because of the product itself. They're buying to fix a problem. So the difference between products and values, and to look at that, I'm going to show you one of my favorite examples, the cake. Ron's in here. Ron, when do you eat cake? Birthdays, weddings, graduations, anniversaries, celebrations. You get a cake when you deserve it. When you've done something exceptional that no one else has gotten close to, you get a cake. You don't buy a cake because you got a hankering for eggs and flour and icing, and there's lots of ways to fix that physical need. You get a cake when you're the all-star, when it's your day. You cannot have a celebration without cake. Can't have a party without cake. That's why you buy cake. The cake is the value, right? The celebration, the mechanism for a celebration, that's the value for which you buy cake, not because you got a sweet tooth. That's the elastic business definition, the values. You're buying for celebrations, you're not buying for food. The third rule for fostering an innovative organization is to be about a cause, not a business. The allegiance to a cause is a source of strength. It's not personal or selfish motivation, and that believing in that cause creates devotion. So one example to use is SDV Office Systems, and SDV Medical, one of our local companies. Service disabled veterans that bid on to refurbish and redesign VA hospitals and supply the medical supply. You can buy from anybody, but when you buy from SDV, you're buying from service-disabled veteran, veteran-owned business. Everyone who works there is a veteran, and they're redesigning spaces for healing for veterans. So they're getting the best products, the best design to create the best healing environments for his own people. That's believing in a cause. Not about being in a business, it's about a cause. Number 4, new voices. First, let the youth be heard. Second, listen to the periphery. Third, let newcomers have a say. So when you look around your table and who's making decisions and who's making plans, do they all look alike? All go to the same school? Are they all about the same age? Or are bringing the people on the edges? Because that's where new ideas and innovation comes from. It doesn't come from what you're already doing. It comes from what you're not doing. Bringing the people that aren't entrenched in your way of doing things, that look at the world with a different view. That's who you want to help you with your decision making. I'll give an example. First, do an equity audit of your hiring and promotion practices. What are the markers? What do you think are the markers of success that are helping people get in the door and get promoted? And look at all the things they have in common and identify where are the youth, where are the periphery, where are the marginalized communities, and why aren't they coming? Another thing you can do, and this was a big part of a school I worked at, was create a young professional sponsored program. So you're a new hire, you don't look the same way everyone else does, you don't talk the same way, you don't dress the same way. That's okay. But there's still gonna be some cultural norms about the business that you gotta learn to kind of learn the ropes as it goes. So bring them in, be inclusive, be welcoming. 5, an open market for ideas. Create a market for entrepreneurial ideas inside your company. This is pretty straightforward, right? People have to feel comfortable to bring ideas forth. If not, you're not gonna hear new ideas. I'm gonna share a couple examples, but one I love comes from Ted Lasso. It is the suggestion box that Nate's niece creates a suggestion box. It was a way for people to submit anonymous ideas and tips to improve the team and improve the locker room, right? It's a very simple 1.0. A couple other things you can do if you want to get more ideas, an open market for ideas from your employees is one is pitch parties. We do this once a month in town. It's open mic night for entrepreneurs. You get up and get 1 minute to say whatever you want. Any new idea you're sitting on, and tell people, hey, this is a new idea. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I want candid, honest feedback, because when you have new ideas and you sit on them and you tell them to your friends and your family, they tell you nice, good, positive things because they like you and they want to see you succeed. But if you can tell it to an objective group of people, they'll give you honest feedback. But you got to create that safe space, a safe environment for new ideas to thrive. Pitch parties is a good one. The next one is what we used to do as kids, show and tell. Here's an event we run in our startup space to take 5 minutes and show us what cool thing you're working on lately. That's it. No pitching, no sales, demo, what kind of cool thing you're working on. And you can do this interdisciplinary across our teams, across departments. We do it with everybody in our co-working space because everyone's working on different kind of cool projects for different clients or themselves. Show and tell. Coming in at number 6, that's what Ron wants me to say. Coming in at number 6 is create an open market for capital. Here's a question for you. Can you allocate a real small portion of your budget, real small, to new ideas? When I worked at Entrepreneurship, we used our 10% free time to create a new app. It was an instant push notification app. And so that app never really came around, but that technology ended up being used in a product later, right? So it was able to create an asset in our library of resources that Entrepreneurship used at a later date. And it came out of our free time. 7 of 8, we're almost there, folks. Create an open market for talent, all right? This is an interesting one. The idea is that if you have flexible teams, you can group A people to work on A opportunity and consider like a risk incentive for people to try new things, right? It is kind of counterintuitive. Let me give you an example. Back to the software company I worked at, Entrepreneurship, we didn't have set teams for every project. As new project came on, the product owner, project manager, which is usually me, or one of the company owners, was able to pull resources and pull teams together that would best fit the project based on interest, passion, skill, competency, tech stack, whatever. Last one, number 8, low risk experimentation. Being revolutionary doesn't mean being a rogue risk taker, just letting things fly and seeing what happens. I don't want you to be binary. Take that as you want. I don't want you binary. There's a lot of ground between being a cautious follower and a rogue risk taker. It's your job to find what is the right balance that allows for enough experimentation and curiosity to let people create market ideas, opportunity to be more entrepreneurial in your venture. Remember, new ideas and innovations come from where you're not. Give yourself and your team the resources, time, and support they need, and don't just go off for creativity's sake. It's a recipe for disaster. A focused, guided approach will produce better results, right? So that's what we're gonna talk about next. Some of those frameworks, some tools, some activities you can do to take a focused, guided approach to innovation and entrepreneurship in your corporation. All right, we'll see you next time.